everyone. So I bet you thought I was never going to make another video ever again. So I'm here to prove you wrong. It's been a long time. I have been planning to make videos, but things have been getting in my way, including my wedding, which took up a lot of my attention for the past few months, but now that's over. Of course, I've been playing a lot of bridge tournaments, just generally being very busy, but I think finally now we're going to get back to it. And so I thought I would just continue right where I left off, about over a year ago, I think, with the Grand National Team Semifinal that I played in 2017. This is a really long time ago, so when I'm looking through these hands, I bet I'm going to see some stuff and I'm going to think, well, why on earth did I do that? I don't know. But hopefully I'll still remember what I was thinking most of the time. So most of the segments that I do on this page are where we do pretty well. Unfortunately, this set we didn't do very well at all. Well, our team didn't, and obviously we had plenty to do with that too. But so anyway, it's very interesting to see what kind of boards we lost imps on. So just a little bit of backstory. This is the Grand National Team Semifinal. We're playing against Florida, who has often fielded an extremely strong team, and this year was no exception. And I was playing with Beth Palmer, and our teammates were Ai Tai Lo and Bill Pettis at the other table. And we had won the first segment pretty big, and we sat out the second segment, and our teammates continued to extend the lead. And our lead was up to 54, which was really exciting. Unfortunately, sometimes playing with a lead can be tougher psychologically than playing a close match or a match where you're down, because you really just don't want to screw up at all, because you feel like maybe if you don't screw up, then you're going to win, right? So let me get right into it. So we were playing against Richie Corin and Kevin Bathurst, two players whom at the time I didn't know very well. Since then, I've actually played with Kevin. We played in the Orlando Transnational, it was it Transnational? I think it was, but it was the world's mixed teams, and Kevin is a really nice guy, excellent player. And he was playing with Richie Corin, who my husband, Daniel, actually plays with regularly now. So to start, my partner opened 2 diamonds, which we play as multi. I could guess pretty much that she had hearts looking at my hand. So when South overcalled 3 clubs, I was not interested in the auction. And now North made quite an aggressive 4-club raise, and of course South continued on to 5 clubs, so I'm sure I led my singleton heart. So as we can see, in 5 clubs you are going to lose 2 spades. They're not going anywhere, because I have the ace of spades, and because the queen of clubs is offside, you're going to lose a club as well for down 1. Now, even if you didn't have to lose 2 spades in a club just right off the top, you have some handling, because you do have to deal with your 3 diamond losers. You're going to have to rough all of them and hope that they can't, over rough you on the way back or anything like that, which they are going to be able to. So I'm sure Kevin won this, and well, at first I guess he tried a spade to the king, hoping that this would live, because I think he can see that if he needs to rough all 3 diamonds, he can't be roughing hearts back to his hand, because I'm going to be able to over-rough him. So he was setting this up here. So after the spade, my partner played the 7 of spades. I could see that there was no reason to not return a spade in case my partner had a spade trick, or if my partner just so happened to have a singleton, which seemed unlikely. So partner won this, and now her job was to try to defeat this contract, so she played a heart back, and Kevin could really see no reasonable way to make this contract, I think, so he chose to discard. perhaps hoping that she had opened multi with only 5 cards, and that in that case he might actually be able to make it. And if not, really, it was pretty unlikely he was going to be able to ruff all 3 diamonds in the dummy, and still not lose a club trick. So I had nothing better to do but ruff, and I played a trump since I no longer had a natural trump trick to protect, but Kevin was, in the end, able to ruff 2 of his diamonds and take the rest of the tricks. So started out pretty well. The opponents bid a little too aggressively. Did not feel like our teammates would get so high. So the next board, my partner opened a gambling 3-no trump, which for us, we play, this shows 7 or 8 card solid minor. And I'm not entirely sure if we have any sort of great system here. I don't believe we do. So 4 clubs would just be pass or correct. Now some people do play, I think we actually play maybe that 4 diamonds is asking for shortness, in which case partner could have shown, she would have bid 5 clubs to show that she had clubs and shortness and diamonds. But that didn't really help me. From my perspective, what I had was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I had 12 tricks cold. So what I really needed to know is if partner had an 8th club, which was possible. So I chose my sequence, 5 no trump first, which is theoretically pick a slam. That's how we play it in most auctions. Surely partner picks her slam in the minor, and then I'm going to continue with 6 no trump. And I hoped that this sequence would show that I had 12 tricks and invited partner to raise if she had anything extra. I'm not sure if the message came across because, of course, partner had nothing extra, so she had nothing to think about. So there we were in 6 no trump. It was, I believe, 12 easy tricks and not really getting 13th with any sort of reasonable thing happening. And the other table, I think they opened a precision 2 clubs, and as a result weren't able to count up to 12 tricks, so ended up playing in 6 clubs. So we won another few imps here, nothing too dramatic. So here is our first bad board. So the auction, 1 diamond, pass, 1 no trump, pass, 3 no trump, all pass. And here I am on lead with the west hand. So being on lead with the west hand is very sad because, first of all, I have no attractive lead. So I'm certainly not going to lead a diamond, which is North's bid suit, because it might cost a trick. It could just start helping them to set up their suit. Typically, I wouldn't lead a club either, because when South bids 1 no trump, they die 4 cards in each major. So usually their suit is clubs, and as we can see on this deal, their suit was in fact clubs. Now, normally I would just lead my longer major. However, in this case, partner did not overcall in either major. So partner tends to not have 5 cards in a major, so I have nothing really attractive there either. So in hindsight, I believe I should be leading a spade here, just because Ace of Hearts lead is such a big lead. I'm certainly not going to lead a diamond, and leading a club seems unproductive. So a spade, I think, maybe partner has something good in spades, or maybe it's just sort of a safe way to get out of my hand. I think at the time, what I was thinking is, my hand is so bad defensively because I feel like my diamonds are on side. The clubs would be on side because if Declare has clubs, then the finesses are going through my partner, and I certainly have nothing in clubs. And my partner couldn't even say anything over a diamond. It felt like we were in a desperate situation here, which again, in hindsight, I think was not correct. So I thought maybe there was a chance, slim as it may be, that partner just had something like king, queen, 5th of hearts and out, not enough to overcall. And we might even be taking, say, 5 hearts right off the top, and declare might just have 9 tricks in the black suits and diamonds. And also, if I led the ace of hearts, even if it wasn't that great, I could at least shift to something sensible. So that's what I did. I led the ace of hearts. Now, you can see double dummy. Double dummy, any lead will let this contract make. But it's a lot harder if you lead a spade because, first of all, the entries get a little messed up. Declare has to guess the hand. And the ace of hearts is actually quite helpful for declare in terms of making this contract. Declare has many ways to come home. So I led the ace of hearts, and I think that if I had shifted to a spade at this point, life would still be pretty tough for declare. But I shifted to a club, which I don't think really helps. And since dummy had a singleton club, I thought maybe partner just had some good clubs over there. And at any rate, it was a safe shift, and I was just out of my hand. So declare here can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tricks, and just needs a 9th trick. So he set out about his 9th trick by working on diamonds. So he could take a 9th trick in diamonds if the diamonds were 3, 3, or if he could set up a finessing position on someone or something like that. So he played a diamond off dummy, which I won with my jack of diamonds. And partner looked to me like partner had discouraged clubs, so I just, again, got out of my hand with a heart. Now, I really think that I really need to be playing spades earlier. At this point, I think it's too late, because declare can win the king of spades in the dummy and duck a diamond like he did and still have the entries for the diamond finesse for my diamond. But the heart lead certainly didn't really hurt declare or anything like that. So he ducked another diamond, and then Beth returned a spade. He won, played another spade, took the king of clubs, and now decided that Beth wasn't ducking from king, queen, third of diamonds, so he finessed me for the diamond to make 9 tricks. So I think this would have been a lot harder had I just led spades, which is, I believe, what they did at the other table. As I said, you can always make it if you guess it, but it's not going to be clear. So here, this board didn't feel so great, and I was right about that. All right, so next board. I was first seat. I was dealt a textbook 3-club opener, so I opened 3 clubs. And now my partner, now North overcalled 3 hearts. Again, light on high cards, but you absolutely can't not bid 3 hearts with this hand. So my partner bumped to 4 clubs just to mess around a little, make life a little harder for the opponents. And South chose to make a responsive double, showing the other 2 suits. And South was really quite strong. But with ace third of clubs and a singleton heart, South really has nowhere to go, and if North is going to pass the double, South is totally fine with that. So Richie in the North rebid 4 hearts, and South now bid 4 spades, which I think here shows, 5 spades, somewhat flexible hand, pretty good hand. Didn't just bid 4 spades originally, so you're open to other strains. And now Richie did something not unreasonable. He had quite a good hand for never supporting spades. He had 4 spades and a club void. And even though he only had a 9 count, you can easily visualize a slam opposite, say, ace of hearts, ace of diamonds, king, queen of spades, or, even just ace, king of diamonds, king, queen of spades. That would only be 12 points. So he Q-bid 5 clubs, and now South assumed that Richie must have at least 2 aces to Q-bid. So he jumped to slam, because now there was no room for keycard anymore. So this is something that happens a lot of the time when the opponents preempt, and it's very important that you sort of keep it in mind, because it's hard, is that a lot of the time when they preempt, they don't necessarily have the ace in their suit. So if you have a void in their suit, and partner has the ace, and you're both loving those values, then you're often going to get too high. That really happens quite a lot, because a lot of the time you're looking at the club void and you love your hand because of the club void. So I couldn't really say anyone did anything wrong in this auction. Certainly, 5 clubs was aggressive, but as we can see, there are 12 counts where you would have a laydown slam. And given that Kevin in the South has a 15 count with pretty much everything covered, just needs 2 aces from partner, and now partner is freely q-bitting here, I think he has a jump to slam. So this also illustrates how great keycard might be. Although if he bids keycard and North shows his void, then you're in the same position. So anyway, my partner has 2 aces, and they're in spades. She was happy for me to lead either diamonds or hearts, so she doubled just to get me to not lead a club, just in case one of our red suits was going away if I chose to lead a club. So I'm sure I led a heart. No, I led king of clubs. Okay, so apparently I thought that her double meant that they were just going down or something. I don't know. I think a club lead is kind of scary. I don't really like my club lead here. I think definitely, actually probably maybe I should be leading a diamond, because my partner didn't double 4 hearts, which she might have done if she had really good hearts. So probably she might even be looking at something like the ace king of diamonds here. So I really don't like my lead. But luckily it didn't cost, because partner still got her ace of hearts. And so the other table also got a little too high, but they weren't doubled, so we won another 3 imps. All right, so next board, pass, South open 1 club, and I have 11 high card points. I have 5 hearts, and I'm non-vulnerable, so I'm in the auction for sure. Vulnerable, you still have to make a decision. I still think I have enough to overcall. The suit quality has never been that big of a deal for me, because getting into the auction, just showing that you have some points, is often just such a advantage to your side. So, hopefully my partners know that my bids are not lead directs. I know a lot of players like to make aggressive lead directing calls. I just like to make aggressive calls in general, because when you bid, often good things can happen. So here, I bid 1 heart, and Richie was planning to go after me, so he passed. And Beth had enough points to bid. She didn't really have a stopper in clubs, so she advanced with 1 spade, which I passed. Now, usually I would tend to play partner for 5 spades here, because you're advancing a new suit, but I understand that sometimes you must do it with 4 when you want to bid, but you have no other bid. So I went pass, 1 no trump, pass, and I didn't really want to defend 1 no. I thought they were probably going to make 1 no trump, and just in case partner had 5 spades, I just bid 2 spades. We weren't vulnerable. It didn't seem like anything too bad was going to happen. So on this auction, I think Kevin thought it sounded like we were on a 4-3 fit, so he kicked it off with a trump. And from Beth's perspective, really all she has to do is draw trumps and run her diamonds, so that's what she started doing. So she drew trumps, they were 3-3, and then she ran her diamonds, and because they shifted to a club, she also was able to get a club trick too. So unfortunately, our teammates got a little too high in 3 hearts, so we lost a couple imps here. All right, so this board was quite sad. So South opened a diamond, and I have 18 high card points, 5-4 in the majors, so of course I start with double, planning to show a strong hand later. And now North jumped to 3 clubs, and it went pass, and South corrected to 3 diamonds. So I think my second bid is clear as well. Again, I have support for all the other suits in the singleton and diamonds. If partner wants to penalize 3 diamonds or pick a major, that's totally fine by me. So I doubled again, and partner now bid 3 hearts. So now it went past, and I had a very tough decision, I thought. So I was clearly off the ace of diamonds, very likely off the ace of spades. From my perspective, North likely had the king of clubs, and South likely had a singleton club. So the way the defense was going to start in hearts was a singleton club lead through the ace-queen immediately. And on top of that, I couldn't know if my partner had anything at all. My partner might just be stuck on the dummy. We were vulnerable, so even sure we get a good game bonus, but if we could get doubled or even undoubled down a lot, it seemed not very good. And I thought I had shown a pretty strong hand already by doubling again. So I think it was very close, but eventually I chose to pass 3 hearts, which, as you can see looking at all the cards, it was definitely the wrong decision. And even looking at this hand right now, I think my bid was maybe conservative, but I don't think it was crazy. They did get us a little with the 3 club jump. The problem with raising to game is that it's just not free, because when it's a disaster, it is a huge disaster. It could easily be terrible. Like, imagine if South has 4 hearts and can double you, and now you're going for a number when you could have just, played 3 hearts down 1 or something like that. I think in the long run, being more aggressive with this kind of hand does pay off. So this is some kind of stuff that I would have to continue to look at and see. If I were in the same position today, I think that I would have raised, because it just kind of looks like my hand is pretty good, and really I only have 3. All I need is my partner to have the Queen of Hearts for this to have some play. So I think I was too conservative, but I don't think it was without reason. And at the other table, they they had no 3 club overcall, and they also had no, they didn't have a chance to show extra value, so they chose to force to game opposite the 1 heart response, just because they sort of knew, I think, that their partner had a little something. But anyway, I could have raised a game, so this was a vulnerable game swing that went against us. All right, so this board also was unhappy. So South opened 2 spades, it went pass, and I had 11 points, no great suit to bid. I chose to bid 3 no trump, perhaps still annoyed about the previous board. So Richie led the 5 of spades, and Kevin ducked it to my queen. So I could have ducked this again, but I just decided to win it, because really I could kind of see that the finesses were going into the South hand. Actually, and if I duck this, then Kevin could just take 2 spades and the 10 of spades, and then I would have to lose the ace queen of hearts immediately. So my goal now is to take 8 more tricks without losing the lead, because once I lose the lead, life becomes very sad. So I have 4 diamonds, 2 clubs, and a spade is 7. So basically it looks like I need the club finesse and a favorable club position. So a favorable club position would certainly be singleton queen. So first I tested for this, and there was no singleton queen. And then I ran 4 rounds of diamonds just to hope. Whoops, no I didn't. Why didn't I do that? Oh, because if the club finesse won, then I was planning to hook again for the 9 of clubs, that's why. Okay, so I played 2 rounds of diamonds and led the jack of clubs, and it went low. And I think that this was actually kind of a decision for me to make, whether to run it or not. As you can see, all the cards, had I played the king of clubs, then the queen would have fallen, and now I could actually finesse for the 9 and make my contract. So this felt pretty sick. In the end, I just hooked because, like, what else can you do? This is the percentage play. Lost to the queen and went down 4, which is the same thing that happened at the other table. But I did think about this board, about whether I had any clues about whether I should or should not finesse. And, you know, I can't say really that there were any particular clues. North would not cover the jack of clubs, really, with the queen. I mean, with queen 9/4, maybe they would, but probably they still wouldn't. Although if they always think you're going to finesse, they might as well. Anyway, it becomes like a really weird psychological game, which is worth thinking about. Whether North would cover with queen 9/4, which is going to be the most likely club position if North has the queen of clubs. Anyway, picking off that doubleton queen would have been pretty sick. This is the kind of stuff that when you can do it, you feel really good about yourself. I can't really see that I could have done it for certain. And perhaps, like I said, if we weren't up so many, it might be something that I would consider. But given that our lead, you know, I just tried to do the normal thing, right or wrong. All right, so that was actually a push. So the next board, my partner opened 1 diamond and South overcalled 1 spade. So here I had 4 points and nothing to bid, so I passed. And North gave a mixed raise in spades and South bid 4 spades. So I have a great sequence to lead, so I'm sure I led the Queen of Hearts. And if you look at the hand, there's really nothing to the hand. Kevin has to lose 2 clubs and 1 heart, and that's pretty much it. So that's what happened, and this board was a push as well. All right, so the next board, Richie opened 1 heart, and Beth overcalled 2 clubs, pretty normal. And now Kevin managed to get into the auction with a double. I could have bid more, but at unfavorable, with a 5-3-3-2 hand, it didn't seem right, so I bid 3 clubs. Richie bid 3 spades, and Kevin raised to 4 spades. And in 4 spades, again, all you have to lose is a diamond and 1 heart, 1 club, and no spades because it's singleton queen of spades. So they got to their game. It was called our save goes for too much, so it doesn't really seem like... actually, I think our save goes down 1, but it's really hard to figure that one out. So there we were, you know, maybe a slight minus position. Now, at the other table, something interesting happened. They opened a heart, and the East hand chose to overcall a no trump. So I think I might have still bid 2 spades with the South hand, but who knows if they would have gotten to game. But at any rate, they defended 1 no trump, which I think is just cold on any lead, but I assume they led maybe a low spade, and so now it was making a lot of tricks. So this was a big loss that was not necessarily predictable here. All right, next board, Beth opened a diamond, went pass. I bid 3 hearts, which per our agreement is a splinter. I'm light on high cards, but I have a crap ton of diamonds, so I thought this was the best description of my hand. So North doubled this, I think, for the heart lead, and now Beth bid 4 hearts, which we play as kickback. So she, first of all, loves the sound of my splinter. She has first round control on all the suits. Really, all she needs to know is key cards. Clearly, I have enough diamonds to cover her diamonds. So I responded. She asked for the queen. I showed the queen and the king of clubs, and she signed off in 6 diamonds because we were missing the ace of diamonds. So I think Kevin led a heart, and there was really nothing to this hand as well, sort of just draw trumps and claim. And this was a push also. So next board, Richie opened one club, Beth passed, Kevin bid one diamond, I overcalled one spade. Now, Richie could have bid one no trump here because he has a maximum with spade stopper, which I might have done, but he chose to pass. And now Beth bid two spades, and Kevin competed to three clubs, which was very sensible. And I believe there wasn't really anything we could do on the defense to three clubs. Really, it was the opponents had too much stuff, and with the Jack fourth opposite singleton, there wasn't really anything to it, but we can take a look. So my partner led the ace of spades, and we give suit preference here. So I suit preference for diamonds, which because I didn't have anything in hearts. And given that I suit preference for diamonds, and there's not really any reason to lead dummy's 5-card suit, because declares losers in that suit can never be discarded, partner chose to continue with spades, hoping to tap the dummy and set up her trumps. So he ruffed, played a diamond, which was run to the queen, and she played another spade, which was ruffed again, and another diamond, and a heart finesse winning. And now Richie drew 3 rounds of clubs, and Beth still had that winner. And then another heart finesse winning, and then another heart finesse. Beth had to follow to all these, but finally she was able to take the last 2 tricks. All right, so here's an interesting board. So I opened one spade with this hand because Beth and I have an agreement where we just don't open a club with 6-5. We always open a spade. That's just our agreement. I don't feel strongly about it. If I was playing with someone totally random and we had never discussed it, I think my hand is certainly strong enough to open a club and jump shift into spades. But that's just our agreement, so there's no reason to change your agreement in the middle of a session. So I opened a spade, she bid a no trump, and now I jump shifted to 3 clubs, which we actually play as a multi-way bid. It can be spades and clubs, or it can be actually spades and hearts, but only 4 hearts, or a single suitor spade hand. And this just covers some of the difficult hands, like when you open a spade and your partner, and then you jump to 3 hearts, your partner doesn't know if you have 4 hearts or 5 hearts. When you open a spade and you jump to 4 spades, your partner doesn't know if you're strong or just gambling. So this covers those 2 hands. So it went 3 clubs, and partner bid 3 diamonds, which was asking, and they doubled 3 diamonds. And I could have done something here. Like, I think I might have bid 4 clubs, actually, on the actual deal. But I thought I would pass and just see if partner had anything to say. So she bid 3 no trump in the face of the double. So now I kind of knew she had a diamond stopper. And now it went pass, pass. Well, hold on. Let's address my first pass. So I think for some reason I was extremely pessimistic on this hand to not investigate some sort of slam. I'm not sure why. Again, like I said, psychologically it can be hard to play in a certain situation. But I think that for sure over 3 no trump I need to be bidding 4 clubs. So for some reason, I don't know, I just thought on this hand, I felt like partner just had a really crappy hand for me, which actually, as it turns out, was true, but I have no idea why I felt that. So anyway, I was thinking I have 6 clubs, a heart, a spade, and her diamond stopper makes 9 tricks. Rather than worry about trying to make 5 clubs, I'll just go ahead and do that, play 3 no. But when they doubled, partner ran freely, so of course I was going to raise to 5 clubs. But after this start, we really weren't ever going to get to slam. And for me to know about slam for sure, I need to know about partner's singleton spade and also 4 trumps, because I need to rough out the spades. And in fact, the slam is quite good, but it's not cold, because with an unfavorable spade break, or with the trumps situated poorly, you could actually go down. But again, it's a slam you really want to be in, and I should have investigated. I think over 3 diamonds asking, I really should just be bidding 4 clubs and letting partner know that this is what I'm about. I'm about spades and clubs, and if 3-0 was making and 5 clubs was going down, then so be it. So I chalk this one up to me doing a bad one. And there wasn't really anything to the play in 5 clubs, just rough out my spades and claim. All right, so on the Richie here has quite an exciting hand. So he opened a diamond, and Beth passed, I'm sure. And I'm not sure. I think this may be a VuGraph error. I'm sure Kevin didn't bid a spade. He probably bid a heart. So I made a takeout double. And now Richie jumped to 2 spades. So Kevin went back to 3 diamonds after Beth had raised to 3 clubs. And I had such a great club holding, I thought I wanted to compete. And Richie was done with this nonsense and bid 5 diamonds. So I'm sure Beth led a club, which was roughed. And he crossed to the ace of hearts and took a spade finesse. And she led a trump, which picked up my trump holding. And then basically that was that. So that was making 6. So I was hoping maybe our teammates would be in this one because it seemed like a pretty good slam, but it also seemed a little hard to get to. But it certainly couldn't be a bad board at least. And in fact, it was a push. All right, so getting near the end, my partner opens a heart, pass. I have a normal 1 spade bid. Richie chose to come in with 3 clubs to preempt us. My partner bid 3 diamonds, and I had a pretty minimum hand, but I had great distribution in 5 diamonds, so I bid 5 diamonds. I wasn't going to look for slam. And 5 diamonds is a great contract, only goes down because it's king, queen, third of diamonds offside, which is just totally random. And the other table I was sure would be in it too, so this was also a push. So finally, last board, Richie opened a club, and Beth surely overcalled or doubled or something, so he bid a diamond. And Kevin bid 1 heart, and I had an interesting hand. I had 5-card diamond support, 8 points. I thought I would just start with 2 hearts. I had some value to my hand, so we'll just see what happened. So it goes pass, 3 diamonds, and Kevin competed to 4 clubs. And now I think I erred here. I bid 4 diamonds, which is a little aggressive. I don't have any singletons. I've already given a limit raise. I even have 2 clubs, so it's not like I really hate to defend 4 clubs. So I think this bid was very ag. But so anyway, so went Queen of Hearts lead, and another heart to the ace, and a club back, and a heart rough. So very good defense to beat 4 diamonds, 1 trick. Otherwise, 4 diamonds would indeed have made. So we lost a few more imps here. And that was that. That was the set. So as you can see, there are a lot of decisions that I made that I could have done better with. Clearly at the other table, they didn't have a particularly great set either. So a lot of the time, that is what happens when you don't have great sets, is you lose the set by a good margin. But we kind of knew that, or we kind of felt that like they were really going to get back into the game. They were definitely going to fight for it. So we now are going into the final set. We still have a lead, which is great. We're up 16. It's much better than being down, and these are the final 15 boards. They're going to count. Every board matters. So we'll see you next time.